Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Reptile Encounters Wild live stream. For those of you who so kindly jumped onto the old stream, we are so sorry. We were trying to get you guys out in nature, connecting with nature and interacting with the outside world. I know you guys are probably feeling a little bit cooped up right now, but we actually lost our internet. So we have grabbed all our creatures and we've brought them inside to bring them straight to you right now. So jump back on board. My name's Tia. I'm from Reptile Encounters and I've been passionate about nature and its conservation for my whole entire life. I said just before, please tune in to our social media so we can add some excitement into your day. We don't want to be forgetting about that big, beautiful outside world around us, and that we are in a health crisis at the moment, but we are also facing an environmental crisis too. And what we are going to be doing today is some spotlighting, but it's not like the animal spotlighting we have done previously. Today we're actually going to be spotlighting a natural process which is crucial for making the world go round. And today we're going to be talking about pollination, and we are going to be highlighting the animal stars that actually contribute and that have this really, really important role in that pollination. So that's really, really exciting. And when we are talking about pollination, we are talking about the reproduction of plants. And now all those gorgeous, beautiful, bright flowers that people adore, love so much, love drawing, photographing, picking them, they are...
Cheryl says hello.
Hi, Cheryl. Hello. Thank you so much for joining in. All right, so those flowers that we love so much, they are actually like the reproductive organs of our plants and trees, and they also have male and female reproductive organs in those flowers too. So our male organs are called the stamens, and that's actually where all the pollen is made, and that pollen needs to make it to the female organ, the stigma, for that plant to reproduce. When that does interact together, seeds are produced, and the seeds are actually coated by fruit, and that fruit and the seeds, when it gets passed on, that's how plants actually reproduce. Now, pollination can happen in many different ways. We can have abiotic ways of pollination, so with things like wind and water, but that usually scatters the pollen around really randomly, and it's not very specific, and it may or may not reach the other plants and flowers it's meant to. A better way of pollination is through biotic factors, like with that of animals. Now, we've all heard about bees being attracted to flowers and pollinating flowers. They are very, very famous for this. And about 1/3 of all the global produce, whether it be fruits, vegetables, and crops, are actually pollinated by bees. That's a really huge portion, and that's not even including things like mammals and also bats and possums and birds and beetles and moths and butterflies. Even lizards and primates also pollinate plants, which is pretty amazing. Now, bees are specialized pollinators because they not only eat the pollen and nectar of a plant themselves, they carry that pollen to their young in that beehive there. So they also can fly. So a flying creature is a really, really good pollinator, which means it can cover heaps and heaps of ground. And what they want to do, they want to load up on pollen and go to visit as many flowers as they can and collect that pollen on specialized hairs on their legs. They actually have little pollen baskets. It's really cute. And they take that pollen into their beehive. So they're really, really good at dispersing that pollen to lots of different places in a short amount of time. And they're usually targeting the same flowers as well. And you just say a daisy can't pollinate a sunflower. It has to be from the same flower. Now, our plants have been specially designed to actually attract certain animals. So they may do this with scent or visual cues. We all know how beautiful flowers are. They might even try and smell like the female of a species of animal. So the males will head over and dunk their heads straight in that flower. And what they're actually doing, the plants are designed so the part that they're trying to get, whether it be the pollen or the nectar, so nectar is like a really sweet pool of honey like sugar, that nectar will be underneath those reproductive plant organs, and that animal, whether it be a mammal or a bug, will stick its head in there and hopefully brush through that pollen. And most of the time those plants are designed so they can't not hit that pollen and then therefore take it to another plant. Alrighty, I am actually going to introduce you to some of the animals that actually do this. And our first one, we were talking about how mammals like to pollinate. We are in fact a mammal ourselves, and I'm just going to grab my friend Simon here. And Simon is a beautiful little sugar glider. All right, now that name is giving away straight away that he absolutely loves to eat pollen and nectar because it's super sugary. It is filled with that good sweet stuff. So let's give him a little sultana here. They will also feed on fruits and berries in the wild as well. And that's why I have given him a little sweet treat here, which he's holding with his hands. And these guys are specially designed for living up in the treetops. We can see just there, he is picking up that little sultana with his feet, which he uses to climb. He also has a really long semi-prehensile tail, and what that means, he has the ability to coil around branches and balance up in the treetops when he's looking for food. This is a gliding possum. Yes, they can glide for over 50 meters, and that's usually to get away from predators. It's not usually when they're nice and relaxed and looking for food. Now, the flowers that sugar gliders are attracted to usually have a really sweet smell. They are a nocturnal animal. They're awake at nighttime, so they are going to be attracted to the smell. So that's how they kind of navigate their food, and it will usually be on quite sturdy branches like that of gum. And that is so they can support that mammal. And the flowers that small mammals like our possums would feed off, they usually have lots and lots of pollen because they don't have a tiny skinny beak or a little tiny insect depositor that can get to the inside of the flower. They usually stick their whole head in there. So the more pollen gets on their nose and their back and all over their body, and they can then take it to another plant. And I'm gonna try see, I know you've just finished your sultana there. Let's have a look if you would like to try one of our other pollen buffets over here. How about that? Now, I wish you guys could have a smell of this. It smells so sweet, like honey. I don't know, he's sticking his little tongue out there, having a little lick. Let's come over here. What about over here? Here we go. Look at that. Look. How about, come over here, sweetheart, on my shoulder. I think he liked this one the most. Now, white flowers will stick out. Where is he? White flowers will actually stick out more at nighttime. They will be illuminated by the gorgeous moon, and which will actually be able to direct these guys to those plants. Is he having a little sniff?
No, he's just
climbing.
He's just enjoying hanging out on your back there.
Climbing into the flowers to start with. Let's try and get him off there. Here we go. Alrighty. And now if you can see him crawling on my hands here, you can see that stretchy skin membrane there. Oh, he's going to go through the bushes for us. And that's actually how they glide away from predators. Where are you?
That's what he wants.
Oh, that's the stuff. You just stuck your little nose in there. Here we go. All right, now these guys are a really important little species which helps our native gum to be pollinated and there we go, look at that. To pollinate and be reproduced, and we know how important those really big eucalyptus forests are to our, here you go sweetie, what about over here? Oh, we're going to try some more flowers here. How important those big eucalyptus forests are to so many of our native animals, whether they're feeding from those trees, nesting in them, sheltering and camouflaging in those trees as well. What are you looking for now?
He's just enjoying a little outing.
A little forage. Here we go. All right, some plants can actually self-fertilize, and things like our tomatoes and our zucchinis actually self-fertilize too. However, when an insect does come along and fertilizes those plants, they actually make them taste sweeter. So fertilization of those plants by an insect or something like a possum means that there will be, in fact, more seeds in the fruit, and more seeds actually create a better tasting plant. Where are you going now? So that's why my grandma's tomatoes taste way better than the ones you find in the supermarket. And that's because they are, in fact, organic and they're not sprayed with all those pesticides that get rid of those really important insects and animals that help to pollinate our food. All right, my possum, even though she's a nocturnal animal, she's getting a little bit wriggly. So what I'm actually going to try and do is pop her back in the pouch because we have plenty more pollinators to meet today. So, where are you going? No, back around. All right, I'm going to try and get you here. Yep, she's on my hand. Lucky I've got flexible. Oh, and she's back up the front here. Oh, how cool was that? Let's give him a big look. Beautiful Simon, our pollinating sugar glider. And back in the pouch. I think he's had too much fun with the flowers at the moment. All right.
I think he has. He's like, don't put me away just yet.
Oh, where are you going? How about... Come on, sweetheart. They have those really amazing claws which help them to... Oh, I got you finally. Almost. And we made it. Alrighty. Thank you very much. Thank you, Simon, our beautiful sugar glider with the big sweet tooth. All right, we are going to meet another mammal now. And I'm going to introduce you guys to a very special creature. This is Mooney. And Mooney is our grey-headed flying fox, which is super amazing. He is doing an awesome job already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open him up a banana. These guys are also called fruit bats sometimes.
Why don't you see if he wants a...
He's sniffing the flowers right now.
I think you might be interested in some flowers.
Let's have a look over here. Oh, would you like some of this? Oh, beautiful. Nope. Would you like some of this? Oh, there it is. Now you can see that gorgeous tongue, if we're lucky enough. Let's see if he'll do it again. Here we go. Come on, Mooney, you can do it. Ooh. We can see that gorgeous little tongue poking out and trying to mop up all that tasty, sweet nectar. And hopefully he's actually sneezing right now because he is getting the pollen onto that little nose, and this is actually how that pollination happens. Now, if you were listening at the very start, what makes our bees and insects such effective pollinators is that they fly, so they can cover lots of ground. And at nighttime, bats will actually fly up to 50 meters to forage and look for food. How about these ones? As I said, oh, that's the stuff. As I said before, they are quite attracted to these beautiful white flowering native plants because they stand out at nighttime. Here we go, sweetie. No.
You want this banana?
He wants the banana. Now, bats actually do pollinate around 60% of the fruit that we... What? Where's his face? Oh, here he is. About 60% of the fruit we eat, including bananas and mangoes. Oh my gosh, he's absolutely stuffed his cheeks. Can you zoom in on him over here? Oh my gosh, that is amazing. He's one of our largest flying fox species here in Australia, our grey-headed flying fox. And these guys are such amazing pollinators. They even have a scientific word for bat pollination. And if I can remember that, it's Characterophily, and that is our scientific name for bat pollination. And whilst we're talking about scientific names, our grey-headed flying fox, their scientific name is Pteropus polycephalus. There we go. I'm just remembering it now. I only just read it before. And what that means is actually, if I can show you guys, he's having a good look at the banana there. That actually means winged foot. Can you show us those gorgeous wings right now?
Oh, yes.
So there we go. It's called winged foot, and polycephalus actually means grey head. And you can see Mooney has that gorgeous little grey head here. All right, here we go. So I said before, these guys, they will pollinate around 60% of our fruit supply, and they are an extremely important animal for our ecosystem, but also for our economy as well. There are species of bat that also eat insects. Our fruit bat prefers to eat that beautiful sweet either fruit or nectar. And I'm trying to get a good shot of you there. Do you want to just try some flowers now? We've got a big banquet for you here.
I think he's still got a mouthful of banana there.
Still got a mouthful of banana. Here we go. And those insect, so this is a megabat. How are you going to get comfortable, sweetie? This is in fact a megabat. There's some of those microbat species that love feeding on insects. They can globally actually save almost $4 billion on crops. So those insects that they actually eat those crops that are really detrimental to our food sources, and that's why people use those nasty things like pesticides. If we were just to keep our bats around, we could save billions and billions of dollars that way. Now it's really, whoop, look at those wings.
There we go.
Wow, that is amazing. What bit of a...
So why don't we talk about what he might be doing now, Tia? He's spitting out something. What you want to tell us about that?
He is. So what these guys will actually do, they will try and get to the seeds of that fruit. Oh, look at you, you're amazing. They'll actually try and get to the seeds of the fruit. So they'll be sucking up all those delicious juices, and what they'll do, they'll actually spit most of the skin and the hard part out. And this does also help to pollinate. So not only the seeds that they spit out when they're chewing and spit some of the seeds out, that will land on the ground and plants will grow from that, but also their poop. Their poop is amazing fertilizer for the soil. And as I said before, these guys cover huge distances. Are you wondering where your banana is? Here we go. Wonderful. These guys will cover huge distances. So unlike a bird that may feed on some seeds or some fruit and poop out the seeds or drop the seeds onto the floor on the same tree that they're sitting on, our bats will actually fly over huge spaces, and they're more likely to fly in those big open places that have maybe we've had some deforestation happen where trees have been cut down. They'll fly into those big open spaces. They will then either drop poop or drop the fruit seeds as well. And they actually are really important for the growth of those pioneering plants, like the really big, you're trying to get a comfy spot on my hand there. Those big, hold on. Let's make him nice and comfy. That's a little bit better for you. Beautiful. All those big pioneering plants that in a really big open space where maybe used to be thick, lush forests, those big trees, those roots can actually stabilize the soil. And with that stable soil and a healthy soil system, we've got all those new, fresh growth plants, the little scrub that happens underneath those forest floors. And our bats actually contribute to about 95% of that new growth. So they're super important. They can actually rebuild areas that have almost been desertified or have been turned into deserts from deforestation, which is really cool. Now, these guys get a little bit of a negative rap, and I find that really sad. They don't get caught in your hair. They are way too good at flying to be caught in your hair. They don't suck your blood. And they, as we said before, they are extremely important for our ecosystem. And if we are finding them in our backyards, bats have been around the first traces of bats being discovered was over 50 million years ago. They've been around a lot longer than us. They're not really in our backyards. We are in theirs. All right, so if you do have a fruit bat in your backyard, you are extremely lucky. This is a threatened species here in Australia, and here in Victoria we have some of the largest grey-headed flying fox species, and they are a crucial animal to our ecosystems. All right, I'm going to try one more little flower here before we meet our last pollinator. Do you want to have a little sniff? Yeah.
Oh, I think he just wants a cuddle more than anything.
I think he just wants a little cuddle. These guys are kind of like, I like to call them sky puppies. They are, not only are they ecological engineers, they are also adorable. Now, it's pretty amazing. These guys are a mammal just like us, and they are so perfectly designed to take into the skies, which is amazing. And we're going to meet another warm-blooded creature now that also has developed the the ability to fly, but they're not covered in fur like our grey-headed flying foxes. They are covered in feathers. And here is my very, very gorgeous Penny. And she is my musk lorikeet. Let's get a beautiful little close-up of her. Alrighty. Now she shares a cage with some rainbow lorikeets as well, and true to name, the rainbow lorikeets are pretty much rainbow. They've got every colors of the rainbow, but she's pretty stunning herself. Now musk lorikeets and rainbow lorikeets, you actually often find them around suburban areas, and they kind of keep in the same flock sometimes too. So it's pretty cute that we have them living together, and these guys will actually follow flower blooms around the south of Australia. So whenever there is a flower comes into fruition, these guys will be checking it out and trying to get to that delicious pollen and nectar. And we said before that there are certain plants that are designed specifically for their host animals, so the animals that will come and check them out. And these guys are specially designed to get to those flowers too. They actually have a really amazing tongue. That tongue's called a papillate, and on the very end, there's like a little mop. It's like a little brush which they use to brush up the nectar. So these guys, their scientific name is Glossopsita consina, and glossa means tongue. And I really want you guys to check it out. So I've actually bought some nectar here, even though these guys, I think she is checking out the flowers as well, or she knows I've got the nectar. Let's see. Oh, she's already got her tongue out there. Let's get some nectar. Whoa! We just had an explosion. I just got some of that in my mouth, and it's super, super sweet. I might chuck some on my finger so you can see her.
Yeah, we can't quite see her little tongue. There we go.
There we go. Let's give you some more. Can you let go of that?
It's very fast.
Let's just give her the whole bowl. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's extending right out now. I'm not sure if you can see that little feathery tip on the end.
It's very difficult to see, but we can see how long it's coming out and how quick it's going, can't we?
Look at that. Awesome stuff. I know this is what you work so hard to get to, but I'm wondering if you would like to try it with one of our flowers here. Oh, yes, she does. She's sticking in through those little fronds there and getting to the pollen. Oop, what about this side? Would you like this side? No, she wants the real deal. She wants the nectar. Well, how about over here? There we go. Let's let you do your natural thing. Where are you going? Over here. Here we are. Oh, beautiful, Miss Penny. All right. Here we go. We've got a whole buffet of flowers over here. Okay, now Penny was my last pollinating creature that I brought for you guys to see today. Now,
we have a question before you move on.
Yes.
Paul would like to know, how do you attract these birds to your garden?
Oh my gosh, I absolutely adored this question so much. And what attracts them? Let's just take a look at our plant buffet down here. So these guys are all native animals here in Australia, and if you plant native flowering plants, whether it be flowering gum or your grevilleas and bottle brush, that will in fact attract these birds. You will 100% get them, but not only them, you'll get a whole range of beautiful insects, whether it be butterflies, moths, beetles, being attracted to these native gardens. So for example, I actually have just been designing my own little veggie and herb garden at home, and I've also put a grevillea in there because I want that awesome pollination to happen in the food that I'm eating, which is really, really cool. So yeah, plant native plants. It's super important. These guys will appreciate any habitat you can give them. Even if you've got maybe like a 2 square meters of garden, plant some native plants in there. You will get these guys in your backyards, including a whole range of amazing invertebrates and those cool critters which do help the world to go round. Any other questions? Yes, because this is a really, really fun topic. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed meeting some really important pollinators today. We've got to realize that half the food we eat and the world we live in, these plants wouldn't be reproduced without animals, okay? And this creates habitat for them to live in, but we also got to remember that plants provide us with clean, fresh air to breathe as well. So without our beautiful animal pollinators, our world wouldn't be like it is today. So I hope you've had a little bit of fun meeting some of them here at Reptile Encounters. My name's Tia, and I hope you have a really good afternoon, and tune in tomorrow. We will be live streaming some more at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Thanks for having me, everybody.